Triple nines. Triple nines is the angel number for release. 999. Release. The ability to let go of what you no longer need or want. Nines. I'm going to tell you some things. And are going to have 9 aspects within each of the things I'm going to tell you about. 9 things. One thing I'm going to tell you about. Something known as the 9 choirs of angels hierarchy. I'm just going to tell you about them. The 9 choirs of angels hierarchy. The first thing, known as the Seraphim angels. Second, Cherbum angels. Third, Thrones angels. Fourth, Dominions angels. Fifth, Principalities angels. Sixth, Powers angels. Seventh, Virtues angels. Eighth, ArchAngels angels. And ninth, Angels angels. 9 things. Another 9 thing I'm going to tell you about. Something that I'd like to label and describe as the 9 chakra system hierarchy. The first one, the soul star chakra. Second, the crown chakra. Third, third eye chakra. Fourth, throat chakra. Fifth, heart chakra. Sixth, solar plexus chakra. Seventh, sacral chakra. Eighth, root chakra. Ninth, earth star chakra. 9 things. Another 9 things. What can be labeled and described as the 9 divine senses. The 9 divine senses. The first sense, the sense of source, or the mental faculty sense of source. The second one, mental faculty sense of auspicious vision or God vision, or the sense of expectation. Third, the sense of self, the real, true, natural ego, not the fake, artificial ego in which prevents you all from doing well in life. The natural, real, good ego, the one that's actually good for you, meaning the ego in which you know of, the sense of self-importance, or a person's sense of self-esteem. Fourth, the sense of hearing, as well as its gross element, ether. Sixth, or fifth, the sense of feel. Hearing was first, feel is second. Feel's gross element is air. The sense of feeling's gross element is air. Sixth, the sense of sight. Its gross element is fire. Seventh, the sense of taste. Its gross element is water. Eighth, the sense of taste, and its gross element is earth. Ninth, the sense of environment, and its gross element is the planet itself. Earth again. 2 elements, 1 order. 9 things. 9 more things. 9 things. Why am I telling you these things? To help you regain an idea of how to let go of what you no longer need or want. That's why I'm telling you these things. 9 things. 9 characters. 9 characters. What are the 9 characters? These 9 characters are what could be labeled and described as the opposite of 9 sins, or 9 specific evil principalities. It's going to tell you things. Doesn't matter, you don't have to listen. What are the 9 principalities then first, before I list off the 9 characters? The 9 sinful principalities. What are they? First, fear. Second, jealousy. Third, sloth. Fourth, wrath. Fifth, pride. Sixth, gluttony. Seventh, lust. Eighth, greed. Ninth, ignorance. 9 things. Here's another 9 things. What are they? The 9 characters in which are opposites of those specific 9 sinful principalities I just told you about. 9 characters. What are characters? What is a character, first off? The word character literally defines as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. So meaning even your own mental and moral qualities distinctive to you. Can you point out a difference? Can you see, distinguish thine own character and or behavioral traits? Can you see and or point out the differences of other behavioral traits around you? How are these people acting? What are these people doing? In which way are these people performing around you or near you? Are they for your own good? Is the environment in which the people you are surrounded by conducive to your success or a hindrance to it? The 9 characters, which I like to consider the great fathers, which are, due to the purpose of me generating this list in my head, are specifically designed to be the opposite and or the antithesis of these sins. And all of these character traits will soon become one character trait. So what are the 9 characters? The opposite of fear, being fearless. Second, the opposite of jealousy, contentment. Third, the opposite of sloth, ambition. Fourth, the opposite of wrath, tranquility. Fifth, the literal meaning of pride, satisfaction. Sixth, the literal meaning of, no, it's not a sin. I was thinking of the angel. Sixth, after pride comes gluttony. Gluttony. What can be an antithesis for gluttony? The literal meaning of pride, satisfaction. Because to have gluttony is to have an insatiable appetite or a habitual greed or something that's... The only way you can be gluttonous, honestly, is if you eat of this world's food and all the chemicals within the food that make you addicted to the food. Because if you were eating natural food, the food itself will help you regulate how much you wish to eat, honestly, because you wouldn't have a desire to overconsume it. You'd only consume just what you need. Satisfaction. Can you be prideful for, or can you be satisfied for what you have versus the overwhelming desire to have more and more and more? I get why gluttony is listed as a sin. I get why it is. Do I see it as a sin? Honestly, I don't see any of these as sins. I just see these things as I guess, some kind of baseline to where sins can stem from. You can say that. Because when you look at the actual meaning of the whole so-called 7 deadly sins and the meaning of the word sin itself, you'll find it's just an influence that comes from an external source, not you. So everything they taught us about sins and religion, throw it out the window. Throw everything you ever been taught in your entire life out of the window. Accept this truth. Forgive the noise in the background. I'm not saying forgive me. I don't want your forgiveness. I don't want you to trust me. I don't want you to respect me. I don't want nothing from you at all. You want to know what I want you to do? Give me my crib back. Give me my body back. Give me who I am back. The opposite of the sins, which are the 9 characters, the 9 great fathers, the opposites of the sins. What's the opposite of gluttony? The literal meaning of satisfaction, or the literal meaning of pride, satisfaction. Next, the opposite of lust, stoicism. Stoicism is the opposite of lust. Because when you have control over your own emotions, lust cannot control your emotions. Next, greed. What's the opposite of greed? Once again, satisfaction. The opposite of greed is satisfaction. What is gluttony? Gluttony is habitual greed. What is greed? An intense or selfish desire for something. If you have an intense and selfish desire for something, you're not satisfied with what you got. The opposite of greed is the literal meaning of pride, satisfaction. If you are satisfied with what you are, don't want nothing to change it, why would you allow something to change it? Or why would you want to have an intense or selfish desire for anything else if you are satisfied with what you have currently? Next, and last one, 9th. A lot of noise, I know. The 9th one. Ignorance. What's the opposite of ignorance? Intelligence, awareness, knowledge, perception. Spiritually uplift yourselves to the roof and beyond. Be spiritually uplifted. Be spiritually uplifted. 9 reconnection scenarios that'll tie into the 9 characters. It's going to make sense in a moment, because I'm getting ready to explain another 9 thing that all of those other 9 things that I just listed are going to tie all the way completely into. 9 characters, or 9 reconnection scenarios that I have to use. 9 fictional characters. Soon they're going to be people from my history. I'm going to use 9 people from our history, like Huey Newton is one. Soon. Or Martin Luther King is another one. Or Malcolm X, of course. Just those 3 off the muscle. You follow what I'm saying? But those are the 3 most commonly known melanated heroes from our history. Those 3 are the most commonly known melanated heroes from our history. You follow me? But the Genghis Khan... No. Don't even... What was I thinking of a G? And I was thinking of Dr. Umar. Doug. Okay, that's where that came from. How did I... Moving forward. 9 characters. 9 reconnection scenarios. Soon they're going to be more of our people from our history, our heroes. But right now, currently, they are what I got. Character and or fictional character number 1 in the reconnection scenario there. Black Lightning from the Black Lightning TV series. He's a superhero and a fearless one. The one that wants to protect Freeland by any moral means necessary. Drawing a character trait from his story to connect with the fearlessness we need to have in real life. is we're going against this oppressive nature. Second, Yahweh. Yahweh is the second father. Why? The second father is Yahweh. Why is this the second father on this list? Well, because jealousy is something that we can't necessarily beat unless we get the entire planet on the same page at the same time to beat it. What do I mean? The opposite of jealousy is contentment. You want to know another thing of contentment is? Satisfaction. So is the opposite of jealousy pride? Yes. But pride for what? You have to have pride for something. You can't just put pride in the air and just, that's it. You follow what I'm saying? The opposite of jealousy is pride. Contentment. The second father on this list is Yahweh. Yahweh is jealousy incarnate. Third father on this list, Eric Killmonger from the Black Panther movie. But why would I put this? Why would I put Eric Killmonger as a great father when his character ain't no father, and it should have nothing to do with anything I'm saying? Well, for one, all of these are revolutionary parables. Two, I see Eric Killmonger as an incarnation of God again, like the spirit of life, the life spirit. I see Eric Killmonger as an incarnation of the spirit of life, just as Yeshua or your Jesus was, and or Ra or Amun, and all of the other people from our history thereof, in which were perfect in every way. That's how I see Eric Killmonger. Perfection incarnate. Something we should be satisfied with, versus being jealous of other things outside of ourselves. Wouldn't you agree? Or maybe y'all feel like we need jealousy. And they say pride comes before the fall, huh? Fall of what? What's going to fall when satisfaction for something comes? You don't even know what you're going to be satisfied with or have satisfaction for. So what's about to fall when pride comes? What are you about to be prideful for? What are you about to be prideful of? What are you even prideful for, or what are you even prideful of? You know what's going to fall when pride comes? Jealousy is. And the thing is, ambition to get the job done because you're going to be satisfied when it is done is going to be necessary to apply to the entirety of this organized mission. Eric Killmonger's character in the movie was extremely ambitious for the liberation of his people. Wouldn't you agree? The opposite of sloth is ambition. Eric Killmonger, I include him on this list as the 8th or the 3rd slot of the 9 Great Fathers hierarchy parable. He reminds me of your Jesus. So in other words, the 3rd spot on this list is actually Yeshua, your Jesus. Or you can just keep him as Eric Killmonger for the sake of all the things I have been saying thus far. Because the Eric Killmonger ambition is what is driving me to post and or record myself saying anything on this internet. The fourth father, video game character by the name of Asura's Wrath. Asura. Why? Why would you pick this such a lame, corny, cringe parable? Why, dude? You couldn't figure out another way? I could've. Shoulda, coulda, would've, huh? I know. I didn't get the proper time I needed to study all the things I wanted to study. Oh, you say that, but then when you go back and look at your past and look at every step you ever took in your own personal lifespan, did you really miss the opportunities? Did you really not have the time? Or were you just too lazy and slothful in your eye? Was your eye slothful? Or was it ambitious? Did you have ambition in your eye, meaning this eye right here? Did you have ambition in your eye? Or was your eye being sloth-driven? I would say it's borderline both, because I just recognize in my past 3 years, I've always had about 2 or 3 jobs all at once. Never had a moment to really pick up a book that I wanted to pick up and do some studying. But whenever I got a chance to, whatever I wanted to know, I would find a way to slip in through the cracks in between and learn. That parable made sense to you. The fourth father on this list is the video game character. Instead of being Huey Newton, it's going to be Asura from Asura's Wrath. That's the fourth person on this list. And what's the reconnection scenario with him? In his video game, like this here real life video game that's being played on our lives right now currently, Asura went through and beat and killed all of the negative principalities which were plaguing the world in which his video game character was in. He just went through and beat them all, and then got to the last one, the one that was actually behind the curtain, and beat that one too. And this right here, these actions are what freed the entire world of their tyranny. And they all lived happily ever after. Maybe. Who knows what Capcom is going to do with the Asura's Wrath after this conviction of mine begins to settle in your world. They may figure out, they may think of another thing they want to do with him. Who knows? The fifth father on this list, Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans in his game, or his cartoon, his show. Another anime character, yeah. Vegeta. Why? His pride. Satisfaction for what he was, and or what he was being promised to be in his world before, you know, the whole concept of the Destroyer God and Frieza and all the stories there that tie into why he didn't get a chance to embrace a reality that he was going to be satisfied with, being the prince of his world or being the king of his world. You follow what I'm saying? The fifth part on this story is Vegeta from the Dragon Ball anime. Pride for the soul race. This is what I have personally. Why do I have pride for the soul race? Because I am satisfied at home. And what is home for me? What I would like to label and describe as the 7 billion melanated soul stance technique. Yeah. Where all of the melanated people in the world at the same time are all standing on the same grounds together. And what do I mean by grounds? Moral grounds, moral foundation, moral principles. And if you're all standing on the same moral principles together, you'll all execute the same moral behaviors together. Meaning you won't be a problem for me anymore. You'll only be what I am satisfied with having around me. It's all about me at the end of the day, nothing else. The empathetic narcissism season is really, really drawing near and near and near. And once I get there, if y'all didn't get anything I have been saying thus far, every conversation we have is going to end up turning into an argument. All of them. I have been resting in the 9-dimensional thinking mind for a long time now. Just trying to get you all up here as soon as possible. These are exercises, scenarios, ways, stories, ideas that can help you do so. Why? Because I am satisfied with you all at your best. I am not satisfied with you all enslaved. I am not satisfied with you all having all of these jealousy minds. I am not satisfied with you all being the way you are currently. So by any moral means necessary, develop you. I don't even have to change you. You don't need to change. Is there a change in behavior that will take place? It's going to be a transformation. That's a change, right? If it's a transformation of any sort, or if it's an evolution or a selection swap of any sort, it's what you call a change. There are just certain words that we just can't avoid here of what is happening overall. I want out of hell. The only way to get out of hell is to spiritually uplift all of you to the highest dimensional thinking minds possible and beyond. In doing so, it'll cause your mind to only receive divinative instructions from the natural universal source itself. As one thinketh in his heart, moral grounds, so shall he be. Whatever your moral grounds are, due to what your mind has been painting them to be, is what your behavior will demonstrate. You follow what I'm saying? And then what comes also from source is what fuels your heart to fuel your mind, which gives the force in your mind to tell your heart what to have on it, what to keep on cycling. But it starts from the heart. It all starts from the heart regardless. It starts from the heart before it goes to the mind. The energy starts from the heart before it goes to the mind. You see? If that makes sense to you. The 5th father on this list is Vegeta from the Dragon Ball series. And now the 6th father on this list, Akuma from the Street Fighter series. Nerd, geek. Be ready to accept all kinds of our people, which is another reason why I'm just telling you these parables out loud versus just taking the time to dig through our history to find 9 specific melanated people that did 9 specific great father things that I can use for this hierarchy versus 9 cartoon, anime, and video game characters. Akuma, the 6th father on this list. Why Akuma, though? He's not a father, right? Well, I have this what-if scenario in my head. I'm going to say it real fast. I have this what-if scenario in my head in which states Akuma had an affair with Kazumi, or Akuma had a hookup with Kazumi, even during the time when Kazumi from the Tekken world was in a relationship with Heihachi. They broke up or something. This is a what-if scenario. And why is it a what-if scenario? Because in the Street Fighter world, people say that Akuma is Ryu's dad, Ryu's father, Ryu, the person who goes Hadouken, you know? That's the person from the Street Fighter world, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah. Everybody, some people believe that Ryu is Akuma's father, or, yeah, Akuma is Ryu's father. And I believe this because of Kazumi in the Tekken crossover that they had. It's just like, who would be Ryu's mother then? Kazumi. That's what makes Akuma the father. But what would make him, why the reconnection scenario with him? Because his character lore is just straight up fighting. He just straight up fights. He has an insatiable appetite for fighting. You know what, in this world right here, in real life, in the physical, how can that character and/or that mental and moral quality be transferred into real life for a better cause, for a better reason? Because your process of trying to spiritually uplift our brothers and sisters is going to require spiritual conflict, in a sense. Spiritual duels. That's what it's going to require. A spiritual duel, in a sense. Spiritual conflict, spiritual fighting. That's what it's going to cost in order to spiritually uplift every melanated man, woman, and child on this planet. You have to be ready to fight with them spiritually, in a sense. And all you're really doing is telling them something they never heard before in their lives. But then they're going to fire back with all this jealousy and all this ignorance and all of the other sinful principalities that I mentioned. And it's just going to be a lot to deal with. Be ready to just, fight it off, I guess, That's the mental and moral qualities of Akuma and why he's in this story. And how he could be considered a great father as well, the what-if scenario. That's why I set them all together. Moving forward. The next one. Mine own personal father. Why? What's the reconnection scenario? My vengeance upon you all will be to see you obligated to do better for all the days of your lives. Stay alive, old man. Next, father. Kazuya from Tekken. Why Kazuya? His reconnection scenario. In Tekken 4, Kazuya had this one line where he said to his father that destroyed his life after throwing him off of a cliff. He came back 20 years later, though, in a game called Tekken 4. And he said these words to his father. I am what you would refer to as devil. So Kazuya said to his father in the Tekken game. They had a little back and forth. And power and control over oneself. Here. Why do I say that, though? I am what you will refer to as devil in real life as well. But how so? Because I want out of your hell by any moral means necessary. And I'm not going to stop doing what is necessary to get out of your hell, whether you like that idea or not. I am going to be against you all, no matter what, because you all are the reason why there is a hell in the first place. Remember, hell is a mindset, as is heaven. I have to beat us out of hell, in other words. I got to beat you up. I literally have to beat you all up in spirit. I just got to beat you all up in spirit. That's literally what I have to do. I have to beat you all up in spirit. Because the more I beat you all up in spirit, you go up and up and up and up. Because I'm beating you up there in spirit. The higher you go, the more heaven manifests on earth. The higher you all go in spirit, the more heaven manifests on earth. I want out of hell. Which direction is out of hell? Up. According to what some resources or what some studies say, right? Isn't the direction out of hell up? Well, I can see by the logical sense, yeah, it is. So, next, father. Oh, wait, I'm going to finish more about that Kazuya one. Kazuya said, I am what you would refer to as devil. All of your moral standards, all of your accepted moral standards are what preserve this hell that we are all in currently. All of your moral standards preserve this hell that we are all in currently. All of them, all of your accepted moral standards. The word evil, what it literally defines as what's profoundly immoral and wicked, profoundly immoral. Profoundly meaning very great or intense, and immoral meaning one who is not conforming to accepted standards of morality. You all feel like this hell is you know, a standard of morality for you to accept. Standard of morality, standard of morals. What is a standard? A level of quality or attainment. So a level of attainment. You all have this accepted desire for this attained evil world, this attained disgusting, useless, get it out of my illusion, and it's an illusion, I meant to say, get it out of my face, because it's an illusion. It's all an illusion. You've all accepted this. I can't stand for this. I can't stand for any of this at all. I tried my entire life. All it did was stop me from trying to, while telling me to. It's a whole game. So I got about 9 video games I'm gonna just throw on the list here. Well, technically 7, but you know. 8. 4, whatever. It's just an idea to help get you up. So what you have here can stop being here. Period. The standard is defined as a level of quality or attainment. This entire world is an attained world, meaning we all had to be raped, lynched, burned, and murdered, and kidnapped. In order for this world to be attained, right? We know the history. I just did, real quick before I go on, I just saw a video on the Gnostics religion. I did my research on the Gnostics religion a little bit. It turns out they are about, I want to say about 200 years older than Christianity. They started around the 1st century AD. In the Gnostics religion, it is talking about how there is something right now currently on Saturn controlling our lives, even down to our metaphysics. Something is on Saturn. You know, I thought it was something in the water. It could be on Saturn. At first, I thought it was something in the water without saying there was something in the water. Do I have some kind of problem with mermaids? I don't even know if mermaids are real or not. I've never seen one. I just know that there is something attacking us and stopping our life force from governing our lives. It's the main thing I know. And it turns out this Gnostics religion, or this information about the Gnostics religion coming out, because no one even knew about the Gnostics religion. No one knows any of the 10,000 religions. We just know of the main 4, right? Or the main 12, however many there is: Christianity, Hinduism, Islam. Those are the main 3. Judaism, 4. Are those the only ones we know? Taoism, 5, maybe. But that's way over in Asia. Nobody talks about that in the East or the Middle. Nobody talks about that in the far West or the Middle East. Nobody does. Not too much. Don't nobody really talk about none of the religions other than the respective countries in which the religion has dominated. Religions can dominate you. The 9th father on the list. Mine own personal brother. Oh yeah, the Kazuya statement. So due to, before I go on to my brother, the Kazuya thing, due to you all having this hell as your accepted standards of morality, and I want heaven as my accepted standards of morality, I am just going to be against you so thoroughly and so thickly that you're all going to consider me to be evil. I don't care. All that you have and all that you want only desires me to die slowly. So you know, I'm not with anything you stand for at all. I'm not with anything any of you stand for. Nothing. It ain't just about the Yahweh idea. It's about all of this world here, period. I am against it, all of it. So I guess you would consider me evil, yeah? It is what it is, till it ain't gotta be what it is no more then. That's what you would consider me as. Oh, I know what I would consider myself as. I mean, the information is out here that literally labels and describes what I am, an archangel. But you don't see no wings, you don't see no horns. You just see a man that got the same thing as everybody else got. 2 arms, 2 legs, head, and torso. I'm an archangel. But how? How am I an archangel? The word arch. And its origin. I don't want to butcher the meaning again. Oh yeah, I said in the previous video that hyper was Latin origin. No, hyper is Greek origin. Greek, not Latin, Greek. I messed up. So, arch. Before I say it, I'm going to just go ahead and say the origin of the meaning before I say what the name is or the nationality it came from or country name, whatever. Its original meaning is chief or controller. That's what the word arch means. The word arch in its original originated meaning means chief. And the word angel means a spiritual being. Think about that. Archangel, chief spiritual being. Archangel, chief spiritual being. You want to know what I am as well as what you all are? Chief spiritual beings. What is a chief? One who has control over itself or an entire village. Just an entire village usually, or a master or a ruler of something or some kind of regard. Art thou not the master or ruler of thine self? Think about it for a second. You art a spiritual being inside of your physical vessel, moving and or operating your body however you choose to, even if you are choosing to watch this video up until this point. You are in control of these actions. You're doing this. So what would that make you? A chief and or master spiritual being. You are a master spiritual being. So that means you and I are archangels. Why am I telling you that you're an archangel? Simple. I want to go home. And in my crib, it's all archangels. Nobody else. It's all archangels where I'm from. It ain't none of you lower class, none of you lost. None of that where I'm from. My crib all archangels. I just want to go home. My lower self only wants to go home. Home liberation is what I desire. It's what we got to fight for, though. We have to fight for peace. We have to fight for calmness. We have to fight for tranquility. We have to fight for these things. We have to fight for them. But we have to be fighters in a way where we won't stop fighting. Almost to the point where we're gluttonous for it, huh? So I'm telling you all this story, man. As lame as it sounds, all these anime characters, the only reason why I'm saying it to you, I just want to go home. Home liberation. And home just so happens to be 7 billion melanated people all standing on soul principle at the same time worldwide. And home liberation just so happened to be the subjugation of the devil by any moral means necessary. Just so happens. I'm going to tell you what makes up the devil in a moment, too. The final father on this list. But that's the reason why Kazuya is a thing. That's why Kazuya is the physical father there. Because I am what you will refer to as devil. Why? Because I am so against your ways in every way possible that you would consider me as the devil once you meet me and know me. You would consider me as the devil. You'd actually want to attack me just because of the things I'm saying to you. Oh, that's how deeply embedded this hell that you manifest in every step of your life is. That's how deeply embedded the entrenchment of hell is into you. So when someone comes wanting the opposite of hell, what you mean, bruh? This is home for us. Us burning in invisible flames every day is home. You should want what we have here. Why don't you want this hell? I'm gonna save it all. Because I know if I let it out, you'll just steal it. There are certain things, a lot of things, I have not let off just yet. And I'm going to keep on holding them in for as long as I need to. It's all about needs here for me, because my wants and desires and wishes and dreams simply go home, home liberation, and live life. It's all I want, man. All I desire and all I wish for. All I want to do is go home. All I desire to do is liberate my home. And all I wish to do is live my life. But your world wants the opposite of these things for me in every way possible. And due to your world considering things like me as the devil, because I want out of its torturing, so be it. Now we move on to the ninth father, my brother, who's going to be a genius soon, especially when he starts to hear these words. And what's the opposite of ignorance? Genius, intelligence, the gathering of knowledge, environmental awareness. The more awareness you gain of anything, the more you kill off the ignorance within thee. The more you get better. Next 9 things, and the final 9 things, and I'm going to close out this video. It's going to incorporate everything I have said in the past 46 minutes. I do not be meaning to make these videos this long. It's just when I start talking, you know, there's so much to get out, and I just say it all. The 9-dimensional base form parable. Let's incorporate everything we just learned of in this one here parable. The first 4 things of the story. What can be labeled and described as the positive human behavioral force, the negative human behavioral force, the balanced and or equipoised human behavioral force, and or the quiescent and or dead human behavioral force. What's the significance of these first 4 things? They are what I would like to label and describe as the 4 fundamental human behavioral forces. The 4 fundamental human behavioral forces is what I like to label and describe them as, inspired by the 4 fundamental forces of nature. Well, not necessarily inspired by it, because like I said, the 4 fundamental human behavioral forces that it's just something I noticed throughout my years of living. People act in a certain way around these 4 categories, like people in classes and groups and whatnot, all throughout the planet in about 4 ways. We need to get them all to just act one way, the King of Kings way, that just so happens to be 2 ways in one, or 3 in 1. Positive, force, balance in you. 3 in 1. Moving forward. Those first 4 things again. Inspired by my observation, let's just say that. But it can connect the dots with the 4 fundamental forces of nature if you read them properly, meaning the positive energy can be the gravitational force, the negative energy and or the force within you. And that force can be whatever you want. It's just a mental and moral power. That's all it is. A force. Your force is just a mental and moral power. And what is your power? Power is the ability to do something or act in a particular way, especially as a mental faculty and or moral quality. Mental ain't in the word definition, nor is moral in the word's definition, but I just added them in there because faculty and quality is. And quality is the standard of something as measured against other things of a similar kind. There go that word standard again, meaning the level of attainment of something. Meaning what something is or where something has already become. Past tense, a standard. The word standard is past tense. Standard is a past tense word. It's already here, already set up for you to measure what this thing is to another thing. Which one do you choose to stand on? Or which one would you choose to use or utilize in any kind of way? A standard is an environment as well. For an environment is one that is already set up, one that you already grew up in. What standard did you grow up on? Did you grow up on hell standards or did you grow up on heaven standards? From what I'm saying, you grew up on hell standards. You and everybody else on this planet did. Which makes you against me. Just because. Remember, everything in hell makes you extremely prejudiced. Everything in hell does. This is a prejudice-making world. It will just make you prejudiced whether you want to be prejudiced or not. Moving forward, here. So, those first 4 things that I just told you about, the positive, or the electromagnetic force, then the balance being the constituent or in the relations to the strong nuclear force, the preserving energy, or the preserver aspect of the preserver characteristics. Remember, the 4 fundamental forces of nature compared and contrasted to the human behavioral forces are simply just how their characters and or their mental and moral, their characteristics operate, the mental and moral qualities of each of them. Do the 4 fundamental forces of nature have a mental and moral quality? Did you know our mental and moral qualities are our nature? Our mental and moral qualities are our nature. It is nature itself. Well, at least that's how you can connect them if you would like to. So am I saying that our 4 fundamental human behavioral forces stem from these 4 fundamental forces of nature? I wish I could, but I haven't fully validated it yet. It just sounds like they do. It just feels kind of like they do, seeing as how we are this universe, and wherever we go, this universe goes. Moving forward. Those first 4 things I just told you about, all together in one, they are what can be labeled and described as the King of Kings, Heart of Hearts, Body of Bodies, and Flesh of Flesh, Bone of Bones and Flesh of Flesh. King of Kings, Heart of Hearts, Bone of Bone, and Flesh all in one. One thing, the life force of the true Yeshua, the life force of the cosmic Jesus, the life force of the cosmic Yahweh Shai, or the cosmic Yeshua. That's what it is, all in one. You follow what I'm saying? Next. Those 4 things all in one are the life force of the cosmic Yeshua, and or our natural abilities, our natural baseline abilities right there. Base fundamental faculties right there, all in one. Meaning all 4 of those things in one can be labeled and described as these words right here. Balanced. The balanced force of love. That's what they can be labeled and described as. The balanced force of love in you. Balanced force of love in you. 3 in 1. That's what it can be labeled and described as. A balanced force of love in you. Moving forward now. So the 5th part of this story. When those 4 things were in the process of becoming one, something else spawned from the blending of the powers thereof, and it became its own self, the remnant of her seed, the remnant of the universe's seed, or the remnant of the negative energy. Because let's never forget, nothing in spirit has genders. The only way spirit has gender when it materializes into the physical world. Only things in the physical world have gender. Only things in the physical world have gender. Nothing in spirit has gender unless you, as a female individual woman, just can't get enough of calling things what you are and trying to make things what you are. What is wrong with the way it is? Why does it have to become like you? Why can't you just let it be what it is? As I said, jealousy is a very feminine emotion. Very feminine emotion. You want to know why? Because it comes from a very toxically feminine energy. Jealousy does. Not everything is designed and or built to be like you. The universe is not a mother. Nature is not a mother. The planet is not a mother. The planet is just a planet. Nature is just nature. There is no mother, no she, no her attached to anything divine at all. Nothing. It's just the power thereof. The only way you become a she or a he or her or him is when you enter into the physical world. Everything before that is genderless. Everything before your physical form is genderless. Stop calling the universe, and the planet genders. Because then you go off and you call everything bad he and everything good her. And in reality, it's the complete reverse, huh? Fifth part of the story, the birth of jealousy incarnate. That's what I was getting at. Jealousy incarnate is born here in the fifth part of the story, or in the fifth dimension of the story. The fifth dimensional read is jealousy incarnate, Yahweh, the second father on the list. You see how they all incorporate together? But we can just stop there, though. The mother of harlots is now the mother of harlots is now born. What's next? Next, the sixth dimension of the story here, or the sixth aspect or feature of the story, the devil's sword. The devil's sword. Remember, we as a species were born from Yahweh. We weren't created by Yahweh. The universe wasn't created by Yahweh. The universe was created by Yeshua. Or Yeshua's life force is what created the universe, or gave birth to the universe, and or interacted and or reacted into the universe, due to it just being energies reacting with one another. That's what the entire makeup of the universe is. Energies interacting with each other. That's what the universe is a makeup of. Energies interacting with one another. It's just that we have a lot of stories in the physical due to us trying to conquer us, which is the fifth part of the story. Yahweh, the mother of harlots, and the jealousy spirit incarnate. We were born from this entity into the physical, from the astral. We were born from its astral body into the physical. Over time, white people came about 6,600 years ago or so, and the devil uses them as a sword, sixth dimensional part of this story, so to speak. Sixth dimension, which is the sword. The sword because the devil is Yahweh. The devil is the mother of harlots, and the mother of harlots is using a sword made from us, boring into us to put us into the dirt for the sole purpose of failing at everything and suffering to death. The sixth part of the story being a dimensional sword, and the seventh part of the story, the seventh dimensional part of the story, is what Yahweh is stabbing the sword into. The seventh part of the story is every melanated man, woman, and child on this planet. The sixth dimension of the story, or sixth part of the story, is every white man, woman, and child on this planet, and every melanated sellout on this planet. And then the fifth part of the story, Mother Yahweh, or Mother Yahuwah. Mother Yahuwah, man. We were born from Mother Yahuwah. We were the light in her stomach, in which became essentially a planet's embryo in her stomach, in which her divine body broke down and or crafted through the pregnancy process, born from her astral body into the physical. Look up who Nut is. For Nut is also Yahweh, and Yahweh is also Nut, and Isis, and Enlil, and so many others. All 10,000 religions on this planet, in some kind of way, shape, or form, have Yahweh as its center deity. All of them do. You'll see what I mean, I guarantee it. Moving forward. Next. The eighth part of this story now. Enter the eighth part of this story. Now, what is the eighth part of this story? The eighth part of this story is the King of all kings, or Eric Killmonger in spirit. And Eric Killmonger in spirit is coming with a forced reminder of your four fundamental human behavioral forces, whether you want to hear about them or not. This time, the sun will never set on the Wakandan Empire, meaning the light will never go down. It will always be up. You want to know why? Because you are always going to have the memory of these four fundamental principles. that'll just consistently remind you of who you are, so that the devil will no longer be able to drive its sword into you, meaning like the sword of its mouth, drive its sword into you and force you to stay down. The fifth part of this story is the devil itself. The sixth part of this story is the sword, in which is being bored into our heart's principal space, keeping us under its subjugation and rule, failing at everything and suffering to death. And in the seventh part of this story, what the sword is being bored into, us, we. And then the eighth part of the story, which is the first four things of the story combined in one, now enters the fray as a reawakening, so to speak. And the first thing he does, or first thing it does, is kick the devil or soul football, punt the devil 47 centillion yards off of us, leaves the sword exposed, leaves my Christ body, my melanated Christ body exposed, my melanated 7 billion strong Christ body exposed. Kick the devil off very, very far away, long story short. Then reach in, snatch the sword out. 0.6 seconds with all 6 of my gangster Christ arms. My gangster Christ arms. Take the sword out. And before that happened, before I finish getting ready to do what I'm about to do, the seventh part of the story, breathes, inhales. Did you know the word spirit, Latin origin, spirare, it means breathe. I pull the sword out. First thing myself does, my seventh part, it breathes, inhales. And the wound heals instantly. And that there is your full reincarnation. The devil being kicked 47 centillion soul yards away. The sword pulled out. And the body instantly healing and waking up. That's the full spiritual reawakening there. That's your spiritual reawakening there. And it ain't gonna be no spiritual reawakening until this idea executes completely. Meaning the white people have to be completely out of our way. Next, after the spiritual reawakening, comes the soul reincarnation. The soul for reincarnation comes next. And the first thing that's gonna happen in the soul for reincarnation, sheathing the sword. Of course, because in real life, they're going to cheat to get there first. I'm just going to take advantage of everything that you do so I can go home faster. It doesn't matter. It does to some degree, because I can't let you stop me from getting home, since that's the only thing I actually want. And the only thing you live to do is stop me from getting what I want. I get how you people operate, so I'm so against you. Next, foresheathe the sword. Spiritual body, my spiritual melanated Christ body. I pick you up. Spiritually uplift you to an infinite dimensional thinking mind and beyond. Meaning, will you accept the soul's truth proposition? Will you accept it? Accept the soul truth proposition. Accept the soul truth proposition. Live off of this. Stand on these ideas. These will help you defeat the enemies that we are up against truly. These ideas will help you defeat them. Moving forward, spiritually uplift every melanated man, woman, and child on the planet. And what all am I doing in reality? Once again, I am hyper loving every last one of them until they can't stand it no more. And what they are reverberates out of existence. Yeah, I said I'm going to literally love you all to death, right? That's exactly what I said. And now I know exactly how to do it. Reverberate what you all are out of existence. What do I mean by reverberate what you all are out of existence? Remember, these are king frequencies, king tongue frequencies I'm speaking to you. These king tongue frequencies, the more I speak these king tongue frequencies to you, the more it reverberates indoor, wiggles your fake self out of you until it's gone. Meaning you, gone, period. At least that's how the reincarnation process is going to work. It's going to reverberate your physical, your fake internal metaphysical selves out of existence. So, foresheathe the sword, white people gone. Spiritually uplift every melanated man, woman, and child on this planet. The so-called black people, the fake black people are gone. After that, all you have left is the King of Kings, because all you are now is what the King of Kings is in its entirety. Resurrection. The Black Messiah globally has been born. Long story short. And now we get ready to step into our resurrection after the reincarnation. And the resurrection is going to be within the 9th part of the story. In the 9th part of the story, now we are resting within we have returned to our 9-dimensional base senses worldwide. All of us have now. And now we are ready to face the reason why the sword was bored into us in the first place. Because the 5th part of the story in which we kicked away for the 8th dimensional, the 5th dimension of the story in which we kicked off during the 8th dimension of the story is now going to return to supplement the full meaning and or reasoning in regards to the 9th dimension of the story. The final battle for the reestablishment of the soul grounds. The final battle for the reestablishment upon the soul grounds. Who's going to win? The devil's 9 principal sins or the King of Kings' 9 divine senses? Remember, the devil only gets what it wants by influencing you to do what it wants. If you can no longer, nor if you have a desire to do what the devil wants, you will not do what the devil wants, which is going to drive it then to fight you into submission. This eager to ensure you do only one of 2 things, fail at everything and suffer to death, does not want you to have a single moment out of its fire. Stay in there and keep burning. If we don't fight this and beat it and get out of it, then we will just keep burning for all of eternity without even seeing the flames. Can you even think about your children for a second? Just sharing some thoughts, man. These parables, I mean, yeah, it sounds kind of goofy and out of whatever, but I mean, they're telling a story that coexists with reality completely and entirely.